Here we've got David Pace, who's completed his burnout, but Connie Kalitta is still sitting back. The engine is not started. He's beating on the steering wheel. Kalitta watching his competition go through the burnout routine, and yet not a sign of life out of that big engine that's sitting right behind him. Kalitta trying to tell his crew exactly what he thinks they should do. The crew member working diligently on it. Kalitta beginning to show the frustration of not being able to do anything about the fact that the engine won't start. Just about throwing his hands up in disgust as David Pace backing slowly into the area. Should Kalitta be able to fire the car, he could bring it right straight to the starting line. A very short burnout and then come up. Kalitta now trying to tell crew chief Ron Barrow exactly what he should do as far as trying to get the starter motor to work. Trying to talk through that face mask and the fire protective equipment that he wears underneath the helmet. But yet nothing seems to be working for Connie Kalitta. For David Pace, a very patient and slow, deliberate routine. But for Kalitta, oh, he's coming out of the car. That means it's all over. It's a single for David Pace. And it appears that Kalitta is angry as he throws his helmet into the cockpit. David Pace brings the Carroll Brothers dragster to the starting line. And here is Kalitta trying to start the car. I guess he must be trying to prove to his crew that the starter motor will work, as David Pace just launches off the starting line, then shuts it down. He had an easy go of it in round number one as Frank Bradley red-lighted. Here he had a single, and he saved the motor to go into the finals.
Here comes Connie Kalitta. His competition is Jody Smart from San Antonio, Texas, doing their burnouts together. So one of these men will face Joe Amato in the final round. Will it be Jody Smart, who coasts on down the racetrack? You know, they don't want to stop these cars too quickly, David, because occasionally the fuel will rush away from the pump and cause the car to die. And that has happened quite a few times to Jody Smart, so he's very cautious about that now.
Connie Kalitta doing a shorter burnout, backing up down in the shutdown area, getting set to head to the pits to work his car over before the final round is Joe Amato. And Joe very happy with his second in a row final round appearance at an NHRA championship event.
Dave, Connie Kalitta is very anxious. He's motioning to the starter, get Jody Smart up here. I'm ready. Jody Smart, who took a long time in the burnout, as we explained why he stopped the car so slowly. Kalitta is not happy at all. Finally, they are staged and ready. Jody Smart is in.
And the motor explodes on Connie Kalitta's car. The car going sideways and trailing oil. You can see it just coming out of the engine and the flames underneath the car. Connie, I am sure, realizes that it's rather warm. Jody Smart shuts it off. He goes on through and takes the win and turns off. But for Connie Kalitta, a tremendous engine explosion. The fire still burning. The NHRA Safety Safari crew getting onto the scene, and out comes Kalitta of the car. I have a feeling his backside a bit scorched at this moment.
I think he felt the fire on that one, even though the engine is the rear of the car. Kalitta inspecting the damage, and he's going to find that it is severe. It's been a long time since I've seen a fire like that right in the starting line area. Kalitta is still hot. Now, here is where we first noticed that Kalitta was in a hurry, a man in a hurry. He wants Jody Smart up there, staged and ready. But, you know, David, Jody Smart does the same thing every round. Here you see the pressure. Kalitta had too much heat in the motor. Jody Smart always does that long burnout. Always the crews talk before they start the cars as to what each is going to do. I really can't understand Kalitta's problem here. It appeared that his crew got in too much of a hurry.
He just let the clutch out and hit the accelerator pedal, and the motor literally exploded on the starting line in a ball of fire. The flames trailing out from beneath the car as the oil finally expends itself in his Kalitta Flying Services entry. But Connie had a handful just to keep the car headed in a semblance of a straight direction.
So Connie Kalitta, in fact, the explosion so violent, we're told that it blew the cylinder heads right there. Is where it blew the cylinder head right up off the block. So this is all the oil and fuel in the motor being ignited at the same time.
We talk about 2,500 horsepower in these engines. Well, you see it now being directed in exactly the wrong directions. This is not what one wants. Steve Gibbs, the competition director for NHRA, and Connie Kalitta, the driver, locked in an intense conversation on the starting line about the principles of staging and who should not stage first. Connie, a longtime competitor, and Steve Gibbs, also a longtime official. And sporting a brand new set of injectors on top of her engine, the former world champion, Shirley Muldowney, coming out of the water box.
Her competition, getting his engine started and everything ready to go, is Connie Kalitta, debuting a new car here at the Cajun Nationals. He's already been well over 250 miles an hour in qualifying, coming out of the water box with the tires just blazing. Connie Kalitta from Ypsilanti, Michigan, a 2-decade-long career in the sport of championship drag racing. Shirley Muldowney, multi-winner of the World Championship title, the first person ever to win a Top Fuel title more than one time. Kalitta in the far lane, Muldowney in the near lane, and the crew working on Kalitta's car. There's something wrong. They cannot get it to go forward. The transmission is stuck in reverse. These planetary gearboxes utilize a small reverser device that allows them to back up. As Shirley Muldowney pulls forward, Connie Kalitta keeps going backwards. That's not the point of this game. It's to go forward into the finish line. The crew frantically working, trying to get the transmission into first gear, but thus far they have been unsuccessful. The starting line crew signaling to Shirley Muldowney to go forward, and now Connie has got it, but it is too late as the green light had come on for Shirley Muldowney. A possible overheating problem, and her engine explodes. You see the parts coming off the car. There's oil coming out from the blown engine as she slows the car to a halt, and now flames start licking out from underneath the back of the car. The hot...
Meanwhile, back at the starting line, a furious Connie Kalitta appealed the decision to the Judge Buster Couch. Appeal denied.
And that's a man you don't want mad at you, the starter.
Well, cooler heads prevailed, or the fight might have been